For the All Madden team, we're going to bring it to you momentarily. Look at this picture. 1977, right here in the Rose Bowl. This was Super Bowl 11. Look at John Madden, a little more slender, a little more hair, but just as exuberant as he still is today. Let's find out about this year's All Madden team.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And, John, all I can say about this picture is that you had to have some strong guys on that team.
Well, I did, and that was one of the amazing feats that they were able to get me up off this field and up in the air. And I'll tell you, though, it was one of the biggest thrills of my life.
Right here at the Rose Bowl 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago. Let's talk now about the All Madden team. How did it come about?
Well, I always thought there was, it'd just be fun to pick a group of guys. And first of all, they're just guys that we've seen in games that we've done, and we didn't do every team, so every team isn't represented. But there are some guys that are maybe old, they're on their way out. Some guys that are young, that maybe they're going to be future All-Pros. Some guys that we think maybe should have been All-Pro or make the Pro Bowl, and they didn't. They're on this team.
Specifically, what are the qualifications to be on the All Madden team?
Well, they're not. We don't talk like we don't know how, qualifications, criteria, mayonnaise. We don't know those big words. We talking, guys. I mean, guys out there and looking around, seeing what's going on, and we don't have any of those. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's just a kind of bunch of guys you put together that if you and I were coaching, would be fun to coach. If you were one of the players, it would be fun to play with these guys.
Well, let's get to it then, and let's take a look at this year's All John Madden team.
It was only the preseason, but already everybody was fighting for a spot on this All Madden team. I was keeping a close eye on these guys. I wanted to see who had what it takes. So we start with the offensive line. This is the heart of football. Brad Benson, tackle from the Giants. Watch this block he makes here. Boom! Then just throw him to the ground. That's it. Then you go over to the sideline. Check your nose. Yeah, everything's still there. Good dirt, good blood, good nose.
Well, I think it's basically because of my nose. I think I have the official nose of the John Madden team.
Then Jim Cover, the Chicago Bears. Got the blood going. Big guy, 285 pounds. He's a Bubba.
I think maybe John got me mixed up with the Bubba team, I think maybe I got mixed up with that. I guess I could be on both teams, the Bubba team and the All Madden team. So that's probably why I got mixed up.
That's why you're there. You don't see many offensive linemen that have their own fan club. How about this guy, Anthony Munoz of the Cincinnati Bengals? Maybe the best pass protector in the league.
Hello? Yes, there's him. You're kidding, the All Madden team? Are you sure you got the right guy?
Yep, that's the right guy. And the center, Jay Hilgenberg of the Bears, comes out, checks the defense, tips the ball up, checks the face mask. He played this game with a broken left hand, but that didn't stop him from using it.
It's nice to have an honor like that from John Madden, but I just hope I don't have to break my hand every year to achieve that honor.
Another center is Billy Bryan from the Denver Broncos. Look at this guy there in the middle of the pit. He got those pads on, the tape. In fact, he has so much tape, if we ever need any during the game, we'll just pull a hunk off of Bryan. And our other center has to be Jeff Van Note of the Atlanta Falcons. 18 years in this league. Look, this is what he looked like when he started. Dark-haired guy, smooth cheeks. And after about 6 or 7 years, the scars started to come. Down the forehead, into the nose. A little later, graying hair, receding, no teeth. That's an All Madden type of player. 18 years in the pit. I tell you, did you ever wonder how many snaps that he made in those 18 years?
I came into this league, my hair was jet black, and now it's gray. After 18 years in the trenches and the pits, it's just time to get out of football. I need to get into something serious, another career. Maybe pro wrestling.
Hey, John, when I came into this league, my hair was jet black, too. You got 3 centers on this team. How are we going to do that?
That's what makes this team special. See, anyone can have like a center and guards and tackles. We have a center here, a center here, center here. Now, the quarterback comes out of the huddle. He can go to any of these guys. If he gets a little woozy, a little delirious, doesn't know where he is, he can just wander around, flop up, and he'll always hit a center. So that'll help us offensively. Now, defensively, the nose tackle lines up in the center. Where does he line up? If he lines up in here, boom, he's centered. He lines up here, boom, he's centered. They don't know where to line up.
So all the other guys, they just walk around like they don't know where. They just walk around like question mark. Then the quarterback comes up, boop, hit the ball, and we go on right through. We fool them. We trick them with centers.
And
big guys.
you broke the chalk again, too.
Well, that's part of the team.
That's 2 years in a row. Assuming these guys can pick up that blocking scheme, who are we going to throw it to?
Well, we got some receivers out there. We got some fast guys, and we got a tight end who we put in here who can block as well as these guys. So we got good combinations going there.
Well, let's take a look at the receivers on this year's All Madden team.
When we throw the ball, we want to be exciting, but we still want to be tough. So we'll start off with our receivers. Tight end Mark Bavaro of the Giants. He gained over 1,000 yards this season. But that's not the reason I like him. Once he catches the ball, he attracts the crowd, and he takes it along for a ride. But I also want my tight ends to block, and Bavaro does that better than anyone in the league. Watch him here in a defensive lineman. He takes them the way he wants them to go. And then you need some speed on the outside, so that'll be Jerry Rice of the San Francisco 49ers. He'll catch that deep pass for you. Not only catch it, but he'll keep going, whatever it takes to get in the end zone. And then Gary Clark of the Washington Redskins. Catches a lot of passes, makes a little twirl and go. And then catches the ball and another spin and goes for more. A little guy who makes big plays.
Being named to the All Madden team made my chest come out a little bit. It means I'm a real tough guy now, and I can take on the world.
And our third down receiver will be Steve Largent of the Seahawks. Watch him in the slot here. I've always felt that this is the thing that he can do best. Break his patterns while going full speed. I think he does that better than anyone who's ever played. And here's a guy that's caught 50 or more passes 9 straight years. Now that's consistency.
What do you mean I made John Madden's All-Pro team? That's great! I can't believe it! What a thrill!
It is a thrill, I would think.
I'll tell you, he's one of the guys that's going to be in the Hall of Fame sometime, and I don't know, he just seems to be a forgotten guy. I mean, Largent's name doesn't come up as much as some of the other players.
Well, he doesn't have a great speed, but he certainly has that great ability and a great heart.
Well, that's the kind of guys you need. I mean, you need a little speed, and then you need the Largents of the world in your team.
What about your backfield? It's a little unique, I think.
Well, I don't want a lot of them. One of the problems that some teams have is they get too many backs. And who are you going to give the ball to? I mean, Tony Dorsett or Walker. Who do you give the ball to? In L.A., they got Redden and Dickerson. So I didn't want to have that problem with the All Madden team. No problem.
Well, let's look and see if there's a problem. I don't think there will be.
When you run the ball, you can only give it to one running back. So that's all I'm going to have on this team. And the guy will be Joe Morris of the Giants. No controversy here. All you have to do is give him a little crack, boom, he's through the hole and on his way to the end zone. And when you pass, he gives you a little help there. And then the quarterback, always a tough position. My quarterback will be Phil Simms of the Giants. This year he wasn't voted to the Pro Bowl, but his record against Pro Bowl quarterbacks is 5-0. So we'll put him on this team.
We again are at the Rose Bowl, and we're testing out the PA system. Your backfield seems like a winner to me.
Well, like I said, you only need one. I have a lot of good blockers up there. I got a lot of good receivers, so when I run, I would like to have Joe Morris run it, but I also like Phil Simms at quarterback. There's a lot of ways to judge quarterbacks, and they have the percentages and how many touchdowns and things, but I think the ultimate thing is how many wins do you have? Because everyone goes out with one goal, win the game. And he's done as good a job as that as anyone.
He really is. It's a bowl in Pasadena, where next Sunday it'll be Super Bowl number 21 between the Giants and the Denver Broncos. 10 years ago, John Madden's Oakland Raiders beat Minnesota right here on this field. Memories fond for all of us. Speaking of John Madden and his performance here, what about this year's All Madden defensive team?
Well, this is really the heart of your football team. You get those offensive guys, and they're nice. But they're a little clean. I mean, they kind of look good. They think a little more. But these defensive guys, they have to be wild guys. These are fanatics.
All right, let's take a look at some of those fanatics then. John Madden's all-defensive line.
The defensive line will start with Reggie White of the Philadelphia Eagles. I like a guy who's intense, who's not only a pass rusher, but plays the run well. Watch White come down the line here and make the tackle. And you have to like a guy who really thinks he's the greatest.
John Madden, I'm the greatest. You better have picked me. I'm glad you picked me, because if you hadn't picked me, I'd have put you down. I'm the greatest in the world, so you better pick me from now on, or you're going down. You hear me, John Madden? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. But another defensive lineman is Dan Hampton of the Bears. Starts out, has the blood on the pants going already, the blood on the arm, can play inside, outside, any place in that defensive line, but he always ends up in the opponent's backfield. And then Richard Dent. You know, you have to like that name, Dent, pass rusher. Watch him, here he comes from the backside, and Dent. Another name I like is Manley. You know, that's a good name for an all-Madden team defensive end. You're on the bench here, you're ready. Watch this move. If no other reason, that move makes the team.
First time I've ever made anything. You know, I guess they say my flamboyancy doesn't really get me anywhere, but I'm very honored to realize that John Madden recognized the potential that I have, and it's an honor.
Then the nose tackle will be Jim Byrd of the Giants. You watch him here. He has to get that 4 under the right arm. But here's the reason he's on the team. After the games we want to celebrate, we'll let Burt do our twirl. Then we'll let him go in the crowd and tell the crowd what we did all day.
That's a good group, a group that I would figure you'd pick. What about the linebackers?
Well, of course, you know, if you think those linemen are fanatics and crazy guys, these linebackers really, I mean, this is my favorite group. I think I would, any place I had to go, I would take this group with me.
You think they're the best athletes?
I think they're the best players. I mean, these guys come to the park with fire in their eyes.
All right, let's take a look then at John Madden's 1986 linebackers.
The heart of this defense is going to be the linebacking group. First of all, we start off with Carl Mecklenburg of the Denver Broncos. You see him on the sideline getting ready. Then he goes in and he plays everywhere. Inside, outside, down linemen. He makes things happen. And Wilbur Marshall of the Chicago Bears. You know, when we're on defense, we just don't want to stop the other guys. We want to hit them, get the ball, and run it in the end zone. We'll score with defense.
I think it's bigger than making All-Pro. I mean, it's a big honor.
Mike Singletary, the Chicago Bears. Watch these eyes. He's looking. Who am I going to get? He sees it's a run. Fake to the right, go down the left, make the tackle. You know, with this group of guys, we need someone to lead them, tell them where to go, over, under, everywhere.
I've always been excited about football. And anytime I'm on the field, I'm always very excited about what I'm doing. And enthusiasm, I think, is part of being a linebacker, and I think that's what it's all about.
Another linebacker is Otis Wilson of the Chicago Bears. He'll do it all. When they pass, he'll blitz and get the sack. Or he'll drop off and make the open field tackle for you. And then the other outside linebacker, the Giants, Carl Banks. Watch how he plays the run here. Takes the blocker off, makes the tackle. Then he has to pass rush. So he takes his shirt tail out and goes after the quarterback. My kind of guy.
I'm flattered. Honestly, I am, but the All Madden team, huh? I wonder what got me there.
Way you played, Carl. And I think the most dominant player in the NFL is this guy, Lawrence Taylor. He's a guy that can win it all by himself.
Well, I tell you, I mean, that's almost as good as getting a Super Bowl ring, I would think, being on the All Madden team, especially, all the things he does on TV. Hell, I can't even understand it. So I tell you, he's a card. And anytime you can make an All Madden team, you've played well, and it's very exciting. And I want to know what is his criteria for that team in the first place.
We don't use big words like criteria on this team. Then honorable mention is Harry Carson. Watch this. He can carry the bucket in one hand. Then he can switch it to the left, sneak up, and boom. You need that to cool off a coach.
I think there are three things you have to have. You have to have your shirt tail out, your eyes, and the criteria. Don't forget the criteria.
Well, we don't like to talk that way. I mean, Lawrence Taylor sneaked that word in on us. And then the other thing is have the ability to pick the bucket, change hands with the bucket, and do the dumpski.
How about the defensive backs?
Well, we don't need a lot of those. I mean, if I have that front group that we just looked at with those defensive linemen and that group of linebackers you just saw, We only need a couple of defensive backs.
Well, let's take a look at those defensive backs on this year's All Madden team.
You know, with all those linebackers, we don't need many guys in the secondary. One of them will be Darrell Green of the Redskins. He's the fastest guy in the NFL. If they sneak through, he'll catch them from behind like he did against Eric Dickerson. The other team has a speed guy. We'll put Green on him, like he is covering here against Willie Gault. One of our safeties will be Ronnie Lott of the San Francisco 49ers. A year ago, he had a decision whether to miss a game or have part of his finger cut off. He had part of his finger cut off and played. Made tackles like this, and then he gave him the business down there.
It's just unbelievable, but I'm on the All Madden team. Now maybe I can play with Jack Tatum and George Atkinson and the guys that, those guys who used to coach. Thanks a lot, John. I appreciate it. I'm going to live with this forever. Thank you.
And ever and ever. And the other safety is Gary Fensick of the Chicago Bears. Here's an Ivy League player from Yale. I've always thought he reminded me of Clean Dirt. He's a leading tackler on this Bear team, all over the field, making hits like that. And he even blows smoke on the sideline.
It's a great honor to be on John's team, and I've made a lot of different teams, and really this is one of the few that you actually get a gift when you make it.
Clean dirt, that's what the Rose Bowl looks like now. What about the gift?
Well, we can't get to the gift yet. We'll get to the gift later because we still have some more things to go, like how we're going to play those defensive guys. Look, I got my linemen here. Both, they're all going. Okay, where are you going to run in there? Then look at these linemen. I mean, I got CB here, LT here, OW here, MS here. Guys go boom, 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 and they'll rush and they'll come back and they'll drop out. And so the quarterback, he goes back. He's not going to have a chance. Then to help, I'm going to move Fensick and Lott up in here tight to be extra linebackers because they're more like linebackers. And my only defensive back is Darrell Green, and he covers everyone all over the field wherever they go. Now, say, well, what if the passing body? Then we do what Ronnie Lott did. You see what he did?
Yeah.
We just break the football.
That looks like something I've seen on Sunday afternoon. But what about the gift?
Well, we still don't have time for the gift because we got some other things to do. I mean, after you think of this, I mean, stopping guys and stuff, we still have special teams and some other players to go
I
here.
think there are probably some guys who'd like you back in coaching pretty soon. We'll be back with the special
These guys are fanatics. These guys are like fanatics. I mean, these guys are really different types of people.
They are indeed. Let's take a look at John Madden's special team players then.
If you thought the linebackers were tough, wait till you see these guys. Special teams guys have to be fanatics. Like Paul Butcher. What a great name for a cover guy. Hey, Coach, who's your cover guy? Butcher. Oh. And how about Dean Hamill of the Redskins? He weighs 290 pounds, nicknamed the Tasmanian Devil. You need guys like that going down on kicks. They'll excite you. And you know, in football, there's a lot of guys who like to hit. But you need guys in your team who like to get hit. Now watch Phil McConkey of the Giants here. Punt return, watch the hit that he takes. You think he didn't like it? He loved it. Watch his celebration. Hey, that was so good, hit me some more. Then he'll lead the team out for you. Get the crowd excited. Get them all fired up. In the Navy, he was a helicopter pilot. Now he thinks he is one.
There's a guy who was cut by the Giants, went to Green Bay, came back, and really has been an inspiration.
You know, I don't think you can have too many guys on your team like Phil McConkey. You know, they're the first guys in a training camp that you think you're going to cut, but they're the type of guys that get you to Super Bowl.
What about a punter and a kicker, a place kicker?
Well, we don't have any. What we're going to do with it, we're going to go for it. You know, the fans love it when you go for it. I mean, fourth down, show you, boom, bad weather. My kicker. You know, we may play in mountains and stuff where we get the weather, and I need a guy that if there's last resort, that's all we can do, he's going to be my guy. A little queen there in that shot.
Different color hair and all, all that kind of stuff. John, it worries me. It seems to me that we might be getting a little old, our team. We might have to rebuild. What do you think?
Now, think of it. Thought of it. It's all done. I mean, you think we just pick out this team just out of a hat?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I've been with you.
I got scouts, and we've been looking at kids. We get these kids when they're like 7 or 8 years old. We start with these guys. And we just keep going, you know, and we get them, and then we watch them, and then we watch them through grammar school. We watch them through high school. But this is where they start. We just start them something like this. Like, look here. There's the All Madden helmet. That's Dave Butler's helmet. But see the kid there? Then you can get, that's how you start to be at All Madden. Here's another one. Watch this kid. Watch your determination here. Run out on the field with all those players. Pick up that key. Get into that sprint. Look at that. Knees bent a little, eyes going straight ahead, hair blonde, give it there, give it a little 5. These guys are going to be the All Maddens like 20 years from now, these guys. Been watching these guys.
Well, let's get back to what we were talking about, or tried to talk about before. What about the gift?
Oh, the gift. Yeah, yep, I do have the gift. Talk about that. Here it is, right here. Now, I'll tell you, this is something, because this was done by Ed White. And Ed White played in the National Football League. It's heavy, huh? This is big stuff. This isn't something little light, really. But for 17 years he played. Ed White made this, and all the
45 blast! 45 blast! What's your QB draw? Downfield, Joe! They're downfield, Ben! They had bad linemen downfield! Hey, what are you? He's grabbing the outside backer! He just grabbed the outside backer!
Oh, no, that's naughty. That's naughty. He wouldn't do that.
Steve Young takes the snap. He's straight back. He looks to throw. Now, all right! Intercepted by Todd Bell! Bell laterals it over now to Richardson. Who laterals it down? And a ball by Tampa Bay down the right sideline. This Copeland's going to go all the way for the touchdown.
Looks to the right side, Anderson with a catch at the 15, sideline, 5, reach to the end zone, touchdown. I saw it, and I don't even believe it.
Let's see if they try to get some pressure.